This is the most meta formation on FIFA 23. If you're tired of coming up against teams like this, you can get some foot coins through MMO EXP using the link down below. You can also use code JambooUK for 5% off. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the most meta formation right now. It has just been used to win the recent FUT Champions FGS qualifier, basically Pro FIFA, and this is the formation that the winner used. I'm going to be showing you not his exact tactics, but some that I've put together that I think will really help you. So what you're going to see on screen right now is a real makeshift team that I've just thrown together for the sake of this video, but this is an idea of something you might be able to use. I'm not just going to take you through the tactics, but also the sort of players that you want to use in this setup, okay? So I've used the 4-3-2-1 numerous times before. It is very, very OP on this year's game. The balance between the attack, the defense, the way you can attack on the wings through the middle, it creates certain overloads in parts of the pitch that your opponent is just not going to be able to defend. So as you can see on screen now, these are the tactics that I would recommend using for the 4-3-2-1, and we'll go through why as well. So when it comes to the defensive style, you can actually add a press after possession loss. If you want to go very attacking, be in your opponent's face, this is going to help you out a lot. It's a very useful tactic for just getting free goals, basically. You know, when your opponent wins the ball back in their area, you can whack on press after possession loss and you're just going to get given free goals. It's very, very OP. But if you're using this formation as just your starter, then I'd recommend just balance. So you save, you know, stamina, you save your players being out of position. That is what I'd recommend, but that's completely up to you guys based on how you want to use this. You've then got 60 on the width. This formation naturally is very narrow. Obviously, you've got 3 centre mids in there. You do have a back 4. I think 60 is like a nice balance. This is where you guys can decide what you want to do as well. So you can see here, 55 on the width. On the depth, sorry. For me personally, I like to have 72, and that triggers the auto offside traps. You can play more aggressive. If you partner that up with a press after possession loss, you're going to find yourself a lot of joy there, in an attacking sense anyway. I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you're very good at your manual defending, because your players are going to be caught out of position a lot. But this is how I like to play mine. So it's a balanced 72 depth. Direct passing is just the way forward. If you guys by now don't know what direct passing does, basically it's going to force your opponent's back line deep into their area, which creates a lot of opportunities for cutbacks and little passes inside the box and stuff like that. You can see here we've gone for 70 width. As I said earlier, this formation by trade is very narrow. I feel like if you have this down lower, like in the 50s, it makes it very, very hard to attack out wide. And if you're just stuck and congested in the middle of the pitch, it's going to make things a lot harder. So with the 70 depth, it's just spreading out the midfield three a little bit more, and I think you guys are going to find it easier to attack in. So you can see here we've got 7 players in the box. This is primarily an attacking formation. It's not one that I'd recommend using to see out games or defending. So naturally, you're going to want a lot more players in the box because you're trying to score goals with this formation. So we've gone for 7 here, and then 2 on the corners and the free kicks as well. Let's talk a little bit about the actual personnel you want to use. So there's a couple of things that in this formation you really need to take note of. So the fullbacks are absolutely key. Your left back and your right back are essential to how this formation is going to work in game. They're going to be getting forward and getting involved in the attack a lot, so you need to make sure that they're good on the ball, they're able to defend, they're quick. They're the main things. They need to be good going forward, but also have the pace to recover. So you can see Theo Hernandez and Hakimi, they're 2 perfect examples. They're 2 defenders where if they do get a chance, their shooting's not bad enough where it's going to mess it up, but they're also good on the ball in terms of dribbling and passing, and they have got pace for days. They've got rapid recovery speed, and that is super important. When it comes to centre-backs, it's the same in basically every formation. You just want quick centre-backs who can defend as well. If they're physically very good, that's a good boost as well. You know, someone like the new Van Dijk, he's a very good option for any setup at all. But let's get into what makes this formation work specifically in terms of the personnel. So you can see here, I've gone for a very weird midfield 3 here of a winger, a defensive player, and then like a box-to-box. that is what I would mould this around. So for the middle centre mid, I like to have it as more of a traditional CDM. So this is where you'd put someone like a Kante, a Vieira, even a Roy Keane. If you're feeling like I am today, I threw him in there for some reason, but it's just an example. So for the middle CM, you want a more traditional CDM style player. For this left side or the right side, depending on how you want to do it, you can have an actual winger there. So like someone like even Neymar, for example, you can put him in that wide centre mid spot and he's going to work very well there. And then I like to have a box to box. So think of someone like Jude Bellingham, a Pogba, a Kevin De Bruyne. That sort of player goes in the other spot. So you have one real defensive player, one box to box, and then one more traditional like winger creative style player, and that works super well in this setup. So guys, apparently 3,451.12% of you are not subscribed to my channel. Do me a favour, hit that sub button and help me get to 100k. In terms of the front three, it's basically just following the FIFA meta. So for your striker, if you can have him quick, 5-star skills, is able to shoot on both feet, that is absolutely ideal. And then for the left and right forward, basically the same, to be honest. You're using these guys as 3 strikers. These are not wingers. They do not play like wingers in game. It's essentially 3 strikers. So, you know, players like Messi, Mbappe, Ginola, or if you're going to go on to like a cheaper end, gold CR7 for example, they work very well in this setup in any of these positions. You know, you could play Ronaldo as a left or right forward or as a striker. It doesn't really matter. It's just essentially 3 strikers here. So the thing that really makes this setup tick is the player instructions. They are super important for how this is going to work. So there's a couple of different options. I'm going to run you through them all. So you've got stay central, getting behind on the striker. I find that just works really well. As I've been saying, you essentially have 3 strikers anyway, so you want them to be staying central and narrow, and then you're going to be getting support from the midfield and the fullbacks anyway. So you can see here, stay central, getting behind, stay central, getting behind, and stay central, getting behind. The only difference, as you may have noticed, is we do have comeback on defence on one of the forwards. And the reason for that, essentially, is when you do this, it is going to make you defend in like more of a 4-4-2 shape. So Messi here, he's going to come back when we've not got the ball, and we're essentially going to defend in a 4-4-2, which is a lot more solid and covers the wide areas better. That I think is super important, because defending with no CDM and just 3 centre mids leaves a lot of the wide spaces open. So having that one player to come back on defence really helps cover more of the pitch when defending. You can see here what we do for the middle CM, as we spoke about. This is our more traditional CDM defensive player. We do have stay back while attacking and cover centre. You just want to use him as more of an anchor man. He's not going to get involved as much in the attack as the other players, but that's fine because we're going to have a lot of attacking options, as you guys will see. And then for the centre mids, on both of the wide centre mids, we do have get forward and then also cover the wing. Like I say, this formation's very narrow. You do want to cover the wings when possible. Otherwise, you're just going to find your fullbacks one-on-one all the time, which is not ideal. And this is what I find to have the most balance when defending. As much as this formation is really good for attacking, you don't want to just leave yourself completely open. So that's what we're trying to counter here. You can see here, and these are the most important instructions for this whole setup, genuinely. This is what makes this formation, these tactics tick. It's this overlap run type on the fullbacks, and you need this, because I promise you, without overlap in this setup, you will just have nothing on the wings and you'll find it impossible to attack. With this, what you're going to have is both of your fullbacks running forward and creating opportunities in behind. So essentially what you have here, if you look at the pitch where these players are, if you can just imagine Hakimi and Theo Hernandez alongside Messi and Alawiren, almost in like a front 5, that is what you will get in the attack with the overlap on. And then because of the cover wing instructions we've got on the 2 centre mids, they're going to cover in for the fullbacks when they go forward. So you're always going to be defending and attacking with numbers, and that is super important. These tactics are very, very meta, and they're 100% going to help you get wins. But guys, I do hope you enjoyed these tactics. They will help you 100%. Be sure to check out the other videos on my channel. They're going to help you get better at FIFA. There's some amazing amazing tactics in there as well, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy. But thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, and peace.